Hey everyone, Luis over at learningtoro.com, and I am going to make a quick-ish video. Actually, there's some stuff in here that you might have already done that you can, obviously feel free to skip forward to. Um, I'm going to make a video that starts at the beginning of creating an accessible Google storage bucket where you can share an e-learning course. And I'm going to take it one step further, and at the very end of this, I'm going to have a section where I talk about using an FTP client to move your e-learning authoring course into your Google Cloud storage account. If you're asking why we need that second step with the FTP client, then you're accessing this video sometime in the future and Google Cloud has fixed what broke. But even if they have fixed it, I actually find this method easier. And it's good to have something in your back pocket. So let's get right to it. So I've got my Google Cloud storage account here. And up in the top, it takes a little bit of getting used to. Once you set up your account, once you open it up and give them your credit card information and all that, it takes a little bit of getting used to. There's a lot of stuff that, really at my level, I don't even use. This hamburger menu, as always, hides a lot of the good stuff. Up here, we have got the broadest category of storage, which is the project. I've got a bunch from here, but you know what? For the sake of demonstration, I'm going to create a new project. And there are some naming rules. I'm going to call this learning-toro-cyberduck-google- oh, that's probably too long. Cyberduck. Let's see if that works. Learning-toro-cyberduck. If you follow the naming conventions, you can name these anything you want, as long as that name doesn't already exist somewhere else on the internet. So I'll click create. And let's see, it is doing some creation here. Good, done. All right. Select project. Okay. So you can also select your project now that we've created it up here from that top menu drop down. But you want to make sure that you are in the project where you want to be working. Now, I'm going to go over to the hamburger menu. I'm going to come on down and I'm going to now create the next category of storage, right? The biggest one is the project. The next one down is the bucket. I'm going to create a bucket. I'll click on buckets. I've got no buckets. I will create a bucket. And this is where I'll give a name that's more, more directly relevant to, in my example, the storyline project. And this is for a student orientation program for the school I work for. So I'm going to call this bucket Orientation Unit 1 Demo. Do I even need to put that? Probably not, but whatever. There are a lot of options down here, and if you really want to, know your Google Cloud stuff, go for it. I usually type in the name, click create, and it gets me to the most important part. This first screen here, I do not want to enforce public access prevention. That defeats the whole purpose. I want the public to access my URLs. So I'll click confirm. And now we have got our first bucket, right? Tier 1 is the project. Tier 2 is the bucket. The bucket. And here is where we can store any number of folders that we want created in Storyline or Captivate or what have you. But before we do that, even though we said that we're not going to enforce public access prevention, that doesn't, I guess, mean much. There are still some more steps, some more buttons to press. So we are going to do that. I'm going to go into permissions. Okay. And then I'm going to go down here into this. I hate this menu. It's like designed so terribly. Like everything, never mind. Tangents. I'm going to go down to grant access. All right, so now I'm going to grant access to the entire bucket, which is a step you've got to get out of the way, but you got to get it out of the way. But once you do, any Storyline project that I put in this bucket will automatically have the same access granted to it. I won't have to do this again until I create another bucket. Are you enjoying that background noise from the trash guy? So principals, that's all of the people who are going to be able to take advantage of these permissions. There's one called all users. Right, so I'm going to select that. And now I'm going to give those principals, I'm going to give all users some permissions. Currently used, and I'm going to search until I find a storage legacy object reader, right? The person taking the course, they don't need to write anything to the files. They just need to view them. If you have interactivity built into your course where like a student enters their, or learner enters their name and it's retained as a variable and it repeats back to them any of that magic, that still works. But this just prevents people from actually like writing over the files. So story legacy object reader, or I'm sorry, it allows them to only read the files and not write over to them. Okay. I'm going to save that. And it's going to ask me again, are you sure you want the public to see this? I am really sure at this point. Okay. So now I have got a bucket and I've got this orange construction cone thing that is our friend, public to the internet, right? Magic. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the bucket details and I've got this public but empty bucket. Now, it used to be where I could take a folder that was created in Storyline and I could drag it into here. I could grab the URL and then I could share that URL. I could send a learner a link and they could take my e-learning course just like that. Recently, something broke in Google Cloud where it would take, these are all of the files that are in that Storyline output folder. It would take every single file, there's like 300 of them, and just store them on top of each other. And the Storyline file wouldn't work. So until Google Cloud fixes that, I have got this workaround, which I think is a good tool to have in your back pocket. Actually, now that I've started experimenting with it, I like it. And it's even got uses that go beyond Google Cloud. Like you can use it to upload files to a WordPress website, for example, in which case you wouldn't need Google Cloud at all. You could create a domain for all of your e-learning portfolio pieces or what have you, and upload them into, is my battery down? That's weird. Upload them into your WordPress file storage and bypass Google Cloud altogether. Anyway, so to fix this and to use the FTP client instead of the Google Drive storage, I'm using Cyberduck, and they have got options for Mac, which I'm on, and Windows as well. So that's probably a good one to use as a demo. And I am going to open it. Okay, so here is my Cyberduck app. It's a really small app, opens pretty quickly. Love it. It's also free. You can give them $25 if you end up really appreciating all the hard work that they do. I'm sure they would appreciate that. So what we're going to do now is we are going to open a connection. So we are going to let Cyberduck talk to Google Cloud. And there are instructions, which I will link to, provided by Cyberduck. But I actually found it was much easier than these instructions make it out to be. And I think that's because Google Cloud has learned to communicate more seamlessly with the application. So there are links here to go where we need to go, but as confusing as Google Cloud is, I am going to just navigate to it from my Google Cloud homepage, right? Again, we've got the project, Learning Toro /Cyberduck, hamburger menu, cloud storage, buckets. That's where we'll find our bucket, but we want to go to settings. Right? Okay, so in our settings, we have got project access and interoperability. The Cyberduck instructions say to enable interoperability. And I spent a good amount of time figuring out how to do that before I realized there was no option to do that, and I didn't really need to. I even went and I created a key for a service account. If you've ever connected your e-learning course to something like a learning record store, or connected an API to like an LMS or whatever, like, you know, the whole key and secret dance that you have to do. Didn't have to do that either. Because Google Cloud talks directly to Cyberduck, I found, which is awesome. The thing that I do need is, let's see, go back into Project Access, and it knows where we are because we are in the Learning Toro Cyberduck project. What I do need is the project ID. So I'm going to use that handy link to copy it. And I'm going to go back on over to Cyberduck. And I am going to open a connection. Okay, so this is the standard one. And I was staring at this forever before I realized that there were many, many options. And there is a built-in one. I know a lot of IDs use Amazon S3. I'm using Google Cloud Storage. So I select that, and it's got built in the general URL for Google Cloud Storage, storage@storage.google. Yeah. And the only thing it asks you for is your project ID, which we just copied from our account. Right? Click connect. And this is the really cool part that I found about using this FTP client is it talks directly to Google Chrome. And rather than adding the key and the secret, I can just go through the steps that I need to go through to let it do all of its magic. Boom, there it is. If this looks familiar, that is the bucket that we just created in Google Cloud. And as I talked about while I was creating it, it's got all of the public access enabled. And now I'm going to do in Cyberduck what I used to do in Google Cloud, and it's just so much cleaner interface, right? It's just for this task, which I like. So I'm going to take my folder that was created by publishing for the web in my Storyline software, and I'm just going to drop it in there. You can see I've done this a bunch today. This is my transfer history. I have got a bit of a slow internet connection. It's the price you pay for working from the beach, you know, boo-hoo. So I'll probably fast forward. Okay, there we go. I'm going to close this transfer history window. Click on that caret, and there it is. Now, if you don't see the folder that you just uploaded, just click refresh to make sure you've got the most current view. And if we click this other caret, we will see that voila, Cyberduck did what Google Cloud used to do for us. It organized, or it moved the files into Google Cloud, and it retained the file structure. So now we can do like we used to do, and we can right click, copy our URL, go back into Google Chrome, and because it copied the file structure over, our e-learning course works. So that's basically it. I am actually going to keep talking. If you've got what you need, it was nice talking to you. But I love so many things about this Cyberduck capability here. Sharing a PDF, for example, that's stored in Google Drive, kind of a lot of steps. You got to go through the Google interface. But if you want to work from just one place, you can also drag and drop PDFs into your bucket, which again, the permissions are already set. Transfer was super quick. You can right click that, copy the URL, go back into your browser, and share PDFs. Pretty cool, eh? What other thing is pretty cool about this? So many things. Let's see here. If you have ever experimented with, oops, I wasn't trying to do that. If you've ever experimented with actor capture, I got this file from this HTML file from Jeff Batts over at learningdojo.ninja. I don't know, the guy's a genius. I can now, let's see here. I've got this this actor capture file that I can drop into my storyline folder. Oh, that's nice of you. Okay, cleans up my transfer window for me, and here it is in the place where it needs to be, and it goes right into the structure at the place that needs to be. I can copy that URL. And if you've done this before, you know that for this actor capture screen to work, it's got to talk to the other files in the storyline folder. So this FTP client process we went through, it retains all of that. When you drop in a single file, it goes right into the place where you need it to be. And oops, put my name in there. And there we go, back into the storyline file. Works great. Yeah, so that's basically it. A little bit longer than it needed to be, but that's what the fast forward button's for. Anyway, Luis at learningdoro.com if you want to talk to me about anything. And I hope this was helpful. Google Cloud's going to fix what it needs to fix, but this stuff is really essential to us. So the more tools we can have in our back pocket as backups so that, our systems stay up and running, the better. Hope you're all having a great day.